technical difficulties, so give me a few minutes to figure out what I've got going on here. Okay, so I'm live now. Cool. And I need to get this guy. Copy. Awesome. This is a site called Watch Me Work for watching artists paint. I've been a member for a little bit now. And it's really great. They have a pairing system that allows you to talk to other artists while you work, which is lots of fun. Where's my Discord? There we go. Cool. Alrighty. I can paint now. Such a klutz. Alright, so I've been working on this piece for about a week and a half. And it's coming along. This is I think this will be my 5th stream working on this. So it's like 12 hours this week. I'm going to be jumping right in. So let's see here. I want to work on the sky in the background. Just painting it on that layer. I'm going to go ahead and open up another file of my last really successful painting. Just for some, I've been kind of keeping this open and comparing to my other one just for some inspiration. Make that like 10%. There she is. Oh wait, I meant, okay. Wow. I meant to drag her out. There we go. Oh. Just so I can look at her from time to time. Because I feel like with this one I really got the colors unified. The scene looks really great. You just look into it, it doesn't look jumbled, it makes sense, it reads really, really well. So that's kind of, I'm at a point where I am just asking myself with this new one, how does this image read? And the answer is, it needs some work. But if it didn't, it would be finished, right? Okay. I'm on the eraser for some reason. Okay, I'm going to grab a different brush. I guess this one's, it's called the palette knife brush. I downloaded a brush set from a artist named Aaron Griffin. He's got a really great DeviantArt site, and he shared his brushes, and they have really wonderful textures, and I do really like them. I feel like I'd like to get one more brush set. I've been eyeing these ones from Cube Brush, but they're like $8, and I know that's not much, but I always kind of weigh like, is it actually worth it? Will I use those brushes that much? Because there's so many free ones online, you know. I think I will probably do it though. just gonna jump on my Twitch here. Alright, don't have anyone in the room yet. That's cool. I'm hoping that I get connected to someone on Watch Me Work soon, because that really is so much fun. I feel like some of these little bits that I painted ended up being a little distracting. So just trying to tone it down a little bit, especially this purple over here. I don't really like it. It's too saturated for what I've been doing. As you can see, the edges on this palette knife brush are really nice. It's got a little bit of feathering, not much, but it really does feel like, to me, it feels like putting paint on with a palette knife. So the closest digital approximation, aside from having a palette knife shaped stylus. I think I'm also going to edit the colors on this just to see if I like them. Actually, let's just do that now. See if I like it a little bit more toned down. I think I do like it a little bit less saturated. More saturated, it's definitely bad. I don't know how much I want to lose though. What I'm doing right now, I just used a Control U to bring up the sliders here. It's useful because it only edits the colors on the layer you currently have selected. Whereas if I were to grab curves, that would be on everything below the curves layer. At least with my limited Photoshop knowledge, that's what it means. Alright, let's not do that. That's kind of interesting. Take it more to like a rosy tint. I think I like that just because it makes the background colors a little different from the foreground. The other thing I've been wondering is, do I need to take it a little darker? I'll leave it like that for now. Grab that right there. Cool. Something's up with my color picker right now. Huh. My magic picker isn't connected to the color I have chosen in Photoshop. Alright, I'm gonna have to fix that. Save and reboot Photoshop. Nothing's gonna be easy today, is it? Okay. Sorry guys. Oh, why am I using my tablet? I'll just do this. Open. Alright, let's see if it's working now. Yay! See, this is a little add-on. This doesn't come with Photoshop, this color wheel up here. It's really, really useful. I have it set to complementary mode right now because I've been using a lot of opposite tones. But you can set it to triad, tetrad, analogic. So it's really great, and I find this little triangle thing here to be a better color picker than the slider from Photoshop over here, just because you start with your color here and then tint, shade. So you're adding white, you're adding black, and you're also becoming less saturated as you go from this corner over to this corner. So it's really useful if you're an artist working in Photoshop. Okay, cool. Let's get in the groove of things. I think I want to go even a bit darker in some of these clouds. Not quite black, but just off from it. Also kind of thinking of getting rid of the purple streak I've got in the middle here. I feel like it's a little bit distracting. So I'll either make it smaller or just get rid of it altogether. See what I can do with it. I did all of this work on the sky last night off camera. I really, really wanted to get a little bit more done. Other than that, I've been working mostly on my stream this week. Just new to me, but I'm enjoying it, especially when I get some people in the chat. That's really, really fun. Okay, let's grab this guy here. Talking to my colors. This happy little cloud here, he needs a friend. He looks grumpy. People reference that all the time, but I wonder how many people have actually watched Bob Ross, because when I was a kid, I loved him. There was this other show on PBS. It was like a kids show, and they would teach you how to draw. I can't remember. I can't even remember who the characters were. I feel like Pappy was one of the characters. I don't know why I think that. It might be true or not. I don't know. I don't know why, but painting this sky is really fun. I need to do some landscape work. Not like normal landscapes, but like fantasy landscape. I don't do that very much, and I'm not very good at it, but I need to get better. And it's kind of relaxing. I don't know, it feels a little bit less like when you paint a figure, you've got to get everything right. You have to get your proportions down and everything, but maybe painting a landscape would feel a little bit more, not easier, but more like you just let it do what it wants to do, let the paint do what it wants to do. I'm going to grab this color because I'm liking that. It's going to be like on the top of the clouds, right? It's a thing. I'm trying to be a little bit less obvious with the spotlight because I had this big yellow streak going down. And I just felt like that looked very not it looked suspicious. I try to avoid things that look suspicious in my paintings. You have to just look at it and believe it that this is the scene, this is the world. It doesn't all have to be correct, but if you can trick the eye into believing it, then you don't have to get it all right. Excuse me. Okay, cool. And I don't have anything on here. I'm so bad about hearing my notifications and stuff that I miss things. It's only my second week of streaming, so I'm not expecting many people to be in. Ugh, I didn't have time to make coffee, so I just grabbed a Monster. I mean, I had time to make coffee. I just used that time for Instagram instead of making coffee. The struggle is real. Instagram's one of those apps that I could just scroll through for hours. It works really well on a phone. I like the DeviantArt app too, but Instagram's a little easier to use on your phone. It's a little frustrating as an artist because Instagram gives you a really great audience, but the image sizes are so restrictive. I don't always want to paint in a square. I know you can make a rectangular image too, but it clips it for the thumbnail, and a lot of times it ends up looking a little awkward. You have to actually click on the image to see the full thing, but I don't know how many people would do that if the image just looks awkward because... Okay, I like that better now. Cool. What were my things today? I was like making mental notes last night about things I was going to tackle right away with this. I want to work on his armor, get the shading a little bit more ironed out. Let's try that. That's really small. I swear, different brushes have like different sizes. Like this other brush I used, if I had it set to 20 pixels, it would be twice that big. You can't really tell on the stream how big a brush is though. The cursor always shows up bigger. Okay. I want to look up some reference photos now. Leather armor. I'm just thinking of texture. I'm wanting to add some leather texture to my character's armor. Ooh, I like that. Mord Sith, the red one right here. Has anyone read The Sword of Truth? I didn't finish it. I read most of A Wizard's First Rule, and I liked the story. I didn't like the writing. But maybe I should have muscled through because so many people... Ooh, I like this one. Really love it. Okay. So this has this really interesting kind of mottled feel to it. And then the filigree, I love it. It's so elven. I love that. It's got kind of a dull finish, but you can see there's some skin texture left there around here. I think I'm actually going to use some of my skin brushes to make this feel like leather. And that's just amazing, but it's all embossed, so not really the look I'm going for. I love the furs underneath it, though. I would wear that. The women's one. My boyfriend and I actually did a cosplay at, we live just outside Chicago, so we went to C2E2 last year, and we dressed up as our Star Wars characters. We played Star Wars Online for a long time. I loved that game. It's basically feels a lot like World of Warcraft, but it's prettier and there's lightsabers. So, in my opinion, it's better. But the player base begs to differ. I've liked a lot of games that didn't work out, that didn't survive. I loved Guild Wars. I'm one of the only people I know that loved Guild Wars. I didn't play the second one, but I was crazy about the first one. I spent so much time in that game. I had like every single character class leveled up, which didn't honestly take very long in Guild Wars. Your character cap was 20, It was more about collecting skills once you got to level cap, and also the PvP in Guild Wars was really fun. They had these alliance battles that had like 40 players in it at once, and I loved it. It was so much fun. I'd usually play my Elementalist in PvP because I had this build. She was an Aeromancer, like all like lightning and air gust magic, and I had this build where I could like perma blind any kind of like weapon user. So if I saw a warrior, they would come over and try to kill me, but they literally couldn't hit me because all of my skills just kept them blinded permanently. That worked really well until I found another spellcaster and they destroyed me. Learned to stay away from mesmers. Mesmers were also really fun to play in Guild Wars. I liked that class a lot. Felt very unique. They're like the illusionist, mentalist characters. They had a spell called Backfire that was so mean. It was a hex that you put on another player, and if they cast a spell at any time while the hex was on them, they would take a huge amount of damage. So you're fighting a mesmer, they put backlash on you. You have to sit there for a few seconds. I think it was like 20 or 30 seconds before you can cast again. Maybe I liked them because they felt like they were the troll class. I don't have a specific pattern in mind for these leaves. I just kind of drew them in randomly and ended up liking the placement. So now I'm just trying to make it look a little bit more intentional, thought out. I had yesterday when I was painting, I had someone in a voice chat with me, and she was from Singapore. She was really nice, and we were kind of talking like painting styles. And she likes to start with line art and then fill it in, and it's very, very clean from start to end. Whereas mine is more about filling in the volume of the character and then refining afterwards. I don't really do line art. I do rough sketches, and then sometimes I'll do a sketch. Sometimes I'll sketch with areas of color. That's what I did with this one. I started in a sepia tone, and I just blocked in like where I wanted him to be. It was just a silhouette, and then I refined it from there. I did something. I don't know what I did. I guess it doesn't matter. Okay. Let's do some shading individually on these little scales down here. I added these, I don't know what these are called. These leg guards. And later I realized after I had first blocked in my character that he just didn't look very interesting. He needed more stuff going on with his armor. Costume design is kind of one of my new little areas I'm trying to improve in right now. All right, no chat yet. If there's anyone in, feel free to say hi. I like talking to you guys. So this will be my last stream for this week, but I will be back on Monday at 9 a.m. Central Time here in the US. I assume that there's only one Central Time, but I don't know. This is my ignorance. If there's anyone not from the US here, our schools really aren't good. Especially when you go to a private school. I went to a little religious school and it was an interesting experience. Let's just leave it at that. It was interesting. I guess it all turned out all right though, because I just ended up as an artist. I don't need to know science, right? The hard, the struggle with this piece that I've been having is that this character, this isn't, it's kind of an original character. It's my boyfriend's original character. He's not an artist, but we play a lot of tabletop games, and this is the character that he always plays. But it's very specific. His armor is brown and green. And ordinarily, I would choose something more eye-catching from my main character, but everything he wears is like brown or gray. Figuring out how to make that stand out in a scene like this has been an interesting challenge. So I'm using lighting. Which I haven't had all the lighting in yet, but it'll look cool when it's done. I have faith in myself. Mostly. This character is an elven ranger, but ranged combat isn't really great in Pathfinder, so he's been playing the character more like a fighter, honestly. And he's got this broken weapon. It's a hand and a half bastard sword. It's called an elven court blade. It's actually it's a weapon of legacy, which is basically a weapon that you can improve. You don't have to get a new sword. You can just do a ritual or something to improve it as you level your character, which is kind of cool. I'm gonna hop on my Twitch page here. Okay, there we go. Alright, and I'm the only one in here. Cool. So anyways, I was saying about his broken sword that I still need to paint in properly. It's just this streaky line there. I feel like I picked up some green there that I didn't mean to. Oops. Grab some of this orangey brown here and put that in a few places. I really like how that orangey brown plays off the green. Gives a little bit of more visual interest than the cool brown. I feel like there's a lot more subtlety to the atmosphere on this piece than especially than my last piece that I did. I like to go really heavy-handed on the mood lighting. I'm not entirely sure what's going on with the top of this. Like how this... Hey, I heard a noise. What was the noise? I bet it was on here. Hello? Oh, I like your avatar. I think we're gonna get along. I was just paired with another artist. Ah, oh well. Well, I'll just have to talk to you here. Um, what are you gonna be? Oh, thank you so much. I'm looking forward to seeing what you're gonna be working on. Ugh, tongue-tied. I love this pairing system on Watch Me Work. I also like that I get a little ding in my ear when you say something in the chat because I miss things on my Twitch chat all the time. I'm streaming to Twitch and Watch Me Work right now with the restream. Yep. What program are you using to paint in? Here, I'll make this bigger for you guys. I'm not familiar with this. Um, it shouldn't be on my end, but that's a common issue with me. Oh, okay. Uh, I'm not familiar with that program. My Twitch channel, I will link it for you. There you go. Oh, apparently you can't click on links in here. Copy paste that and you should be able to hop in. If you've got a Twitch channel, I would love to follow you. I haven't done any pixel art. I don't really know what that entails. It's all I can do to learn how to use Photoshop right now, so I've only been using Photoshop for a few months. I mean, I've had my tablet for a few years, but I got it, did one digital painting, and it was so time consuming and difficult for me. Oh, thank you so much. I will follow you too. Anyways, it was so difficult for me to do that first digital painting a few years ago that I just gave up for a while. And then I got back into it a few months ago. And now I paint exclusively digitally, actually. Okay, there you are. Thank you. I guess all the hand-eye coordination is there for um, painting in general. So it just took a while to get used to I use a little Wacom bamboo tablet. Not the best quality, but it gets the job done for now. I don't use a lot of Photoshop tricks though. I just have a million layers going and I just use it like a traditional canvas for the most part. There's a few little things that I've picked up like clipping masks and stuff, but I honestly I haven't even used clipping masks in this piece. I did learn about color dodge, which I went a little crazy with for a while because it's just so fun to make things glow. I do. Oh cool. It's like 8-bit. I love that. I'm looking at your stream down here. Hmm. Yeah, I went to art school and my concentration was in printmaking, traditional printmaking. Um, so that's my training. Um, I also do a lot of painting. Well, did. I don't have a great space for traditional work right now. I know. My dog is barking. Stop it. You're okay. Come here. Ryan. No. Sorry. I don't know if you can see him. He's over there on my couch. He's a huge baby. Yeah, you can see him in my stream. Hey, Rhino. Anyways, I can't even remember what I was talking about before. He hears a dog outside. God help me. He's a little bit, I guess. Right now he's listening to a dog barking outside and he has to growl and woof because he's such a big bad dog. Everyone's afraid of you, Ryan. You're just terrifying. You're not giving a good impression to the people that are watching. You're usually so good. Yes, I paint a lot. I like to use watercolor. I really love gouache as well. Acrylics. But I don't have a good setup for it because my apartment is relatively small. So finding a spot to sit down and paint is kind of a pain. Most of my traditional work right now is just in my sketchbook. That might be my favorite thing about digital painting. No cleanup. I don't have to worry about paint spills. I need to paint his hands. I always dread this part. So do you do traditional work as well? All right, let's say a prayer. I'm going to paint some hands. I'd say so. I was always afraid that I would lose the texture in my paintings when I switched to digital, but honestly, my painting style looks very similar and you can still see my marks. I've always had a more painterly. Watercolor is a lot of fun. I like mixing watercolor with gouache. Like I'll do my base in watercolor and then I'll throw gouache over it in some areas because gouache is opaque and it doesn't lift when you wet it again. So like you can just grab some white gouache for like highlights and stuff. I do. I have several social accounts. I've got links to everything on my Twitch. So if you go over there later, um, you'll be able to see that. I'm going to throw my social in my Twitch chat for now. I've got everything though. I've got ArtStation, DeviantArt, Instagram. I have a Facebook page. I have a Tumblr. I even have a Newgrounds account. I don't really update that one very often, but I have it. Thank you. Is this program that you're using, like, do you have to buy it or is it free? Because I feel like it would be fun to make some 8-bit characters. I always loved Fire Emblem. It's one of my favorite games of all time. The first one that came out in the States, Blazing Blade, for Game Boy Advance back in the day. Oh my God. I have not played a game, any video game that much. But it would be fun to make myself into a $10 on Steam. Hmm. Newgrounds, yeah. I'll have to check that out. I feel like it would be fun to make some emotes too. I feel like some streamers make their own because Twitch has their own, like emoticons and stuff. Not that I know very much about any of this, but I feel like I'm relatively new to the internet now that I've started posting work online. There's so many possibilities that I don't even realize. Krita. I've heard of Krita. There's like Paint Tool Sci too. I was looking at some other painting um, programs, but I was talking to a streamer on Twitch the other day. His name is Abnormal. He's actually really good. He's a illustration professor. Streams all the time. Anyways, he uses Photoshop, so I was asking him, I was like, have you ever used any other programs? And he said he had, but there's nothing he could do in a different program that he couldn't do in Photoshop. And Photoshop is kind of an industry standard. So for now, I'm just putting all my energy into Photoshop. Maybe once I get some more knowledge under my belt, I'll branch out a bit. You know what I'd really like for another program? A ways off. I have a list of things that I want to buy for digital art. Um, yep. I'd really like to get an iPad Pro with Procreate just for the sketchbook kind of thing. And it would be so easy to upload things right onto my social with that too. But that's really just toy value for me. I don't need it. Yeah, I looked at Clip Studio recently. That's the one that I was looking at the most because I like I like the brushes in it. Um, oh, there was a YouTuber I was watching paint in there. Can't remember. Maybe Audra Claire uses Clip Studio. I can't remember. Alright, that looks a little awkward. Of course, I have a feathered brush on my eraser. That's not helping. I don't need those soft edges. Let's do this. It's better. Okay. Maybe I'll have to give that a download sometime. Tons of free brushes. I haven't had trouble finding brushes I like in Photoshop. The thing about Photoshop is it doesn't really describe what the brushes do when you download it. So it's a lot of trial and error. Like, okay, what's this brush supposed to feel like? I just discovered that some of the brushes I've been using have names, but you have to. I literally was going to rename them and I was like, oh, this says that it's a palette knife brush. And just that little reference helped me understand the brush more. I don't know. Because here, these are my brushes, and I have not tried all of them. This one on the top is a set that I really like from Aaron Griffin Art on DeviantArt. It's free. He does a lot of heavily textured paintings. He's got a very painterly, traditional kind of style, similar to me. Um, but he doesn't do as much like fantasy work. But I've been pretty happy with those. Um, I'll go into my DeviantArt. I'm going to show you the brushes. Right here. I should make a little resources thing. I'm going to stick that in my Twitch chat as well, if there's anyone in there. But those are completely free, and that's what I'm using right now. I do play Pathfinder. I've got a whole series. This is actually what um, this image is inspired by my Pathfinder campaign. Yeah, they've got really great artists. I would love to do some work for Paizo at some point, but I haven't started reaching out to any art directors or anything yet. So, but this here, I'll open up my other paintings. I have two other paintings that I've done for my Pathfinder series. I can't remember if that's actually the one I wanted. This one is not my last painting, but painting before that. That's my druid character. Her name is Laughing Fox, and she has a fox companion. That one was really fun to make. And then the other one I've made for my Pathfinder campaign is right here. That's the character I play in my campaign. Her name is Tuameo. She's a abyssal blood rager, so she's demon possessed. She goes into and she does like a transformation when she goes into combat that makes her this demonic creature. Thank you. So my goal is to do a dozen paintings based on my Pathfinder campaign. Where I'm not doing a lot of client work right now, just small commissions and stuff, I decided for my personal work to kind of hire myself for a larger project. And I thought this would give me a good chance to do some more character development because it's going to be the same 4 to 5 characters in all the paintings. And it also pushes me to create scenes rather than just character drawings. I actually got the idea from an artist named Kiri Leonard. She posts a lot on like Instagram, and she she's actually done some work for Paizo for one of their expansion books. But she said she has a YouTube channel, and one of her videos she said it's important when you're not getting a lot of jobs to hire yourself to do things. Like she did a calendar early on in her career and got that published herself. She made a tarot deck as well, and those were things she was doing before she was getting a lot of client work. So I figured this would be easy because it's just a set of paintings. I don't have to worry about how to merchandise it when I'm done so much. I'd love to do something like a calendar or a deck or something, but I just don't really have the ability right now to print off my own stuff or the connections or knowledge to get that all done. So this felt like a safe project that would still push me to do better work. How about you? Do you sell your art, or are you just kind of in the same kind of boat as I am, getting into it all? We've talked a lot about me. Yeah, it's a passion project for sure. It's a passion project that I'm hoping that potential uh, clients will look at and that it will look good to them. It's a good portfolio project as well. Well, your little pixels are adorable. You've got like a little mech. You know what's funny is I've been doing a lot of sci-fi sketches lately. I usually don't. I usually stick to high fantasy. Um, but Paizo just launched a new RPG called Starfinder, which is basically Pathfinder but in a science fiction setting. And you're doing these little guys. This guy would be a mechanic because he's got his little mech thing there. Mechanic, it can you don't get animal companions in Starfinder. You can get uh, robot pets. But I just got the core rulebook for Starfinder, and oh my god, the art is beautiful. Shadowrun. Yep, Starfinder. I'm pretty sure um, you can get a PDF of the PHP for pretty cheap, and the artwork is top notch. We're adapting it to be a Star Wars campaign, which is actually pretty easy. There's a class called Mystic in it, and you're basically a Jedi. Oh, wait. Oh, I did. I always do this. I start painting on a layer that I shouldn't be painting on because I'm on my character, not the background. Let's go to the background. Where's the castle? Right here. Right here. It just launched. Yes, it's new. It launched last month at Gen Con in Indianapolis. I'm hoping it does well. I have trouble drawing like mechs and stuff because I don't I don't know anything about like how things work. I feel like you have to make anything mechanical needs to look believable. I just I doubt my ability to make something like that look believable. Okay. I've got this little skeleton guy over here that I need to shade in. That's so cool. I want to play the video game that your characters are in. I was paired with a artist from Spain a few days ago on Watch Me Work, and she was working on a really beautiful painting. And she went to school for animation, and she worked on a cell phone game. And she was telling me about all of that. It's definitely a very different world than just, doing illustrations. What did I do? I keep doing weird things to my painting. And I was paired with another girl yesterday from, where was she from? Singapore. And she took a class with Artsherm. I don't know if you're familiar with him. He's pretty huge on the internet. He does a lot of like pinup style characters, like a lot of DC characters. I think he's done covers for Supergirl. They DC released a series of his work as little statues of like Poison Ivy, Catwoman. Anyways, he's really great. And she took his class, and I was super jealous. I think I want this color to be tilted towards blue more. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, I haven't checked out his YouTube channel. I should do that. He has a Discord channel that I just joined yesterday. It's a community where you can post work and get critiques. It's completely free. It's really, really active too. I'm definitely going to be checking that out later. I watch a lot of YouTube videos. It's basically all of my Photoshop knowledge has come from watching that and trial and error. Hours and hours of frustration. I love watching the guy from Cube Brush does some great tutorials. Shaddy, I can't remember what his name is. He does the Shaddy brushes, Shaddy. But he's got some really great tutorials as well. I actually picked some things up on Twitch just from being in chats with artists. I'll say, oh, I'll be like, what are you doing right now? And how do I do it too? I'm not familiar with them. I'm gonna have to write all these down and go check them out later. There's one artist that I've really been enjoying watching. His YouTube channel is, I think it's Apteris Graphics, or maybe it's Sabatis Apteris. He does these amazing. Here, I'll pull it up just because. Apteris Graphics. Some of his stuff is kind of NSFW, not like just because there's nudity, not because it's like sexual. He just does speed paints, but I've learned a lot just from watching his speed paintings. He does such a great job at making his images and his characters both beautiful and super creepy at the same time. Kind of all about that vibe. He's probably my favorite digital artist of the moment that I'm following. Him and Carrie Leonard. Her YouTube channel is so great for starting artists. She does less like Photoshop tutorial kind of things and more just advice on getting jobs and stuff. I'm gonna have to work on this cultist back here too. I painted that in yesterday and it's looking a little suspicious. That was what I think before you hopped into the chat I was saying, as long as nothing looks suspicious in your paintings, then you're good to go. Because it doesn't all have to be anatomically correct, it doesn't all have to be perfect, but your eye has to just accept it. And once you feel that way, you generally don't pick apart all the little things. So yeah, I love him. I share him with everyone. I'm kind of a fangirl. Carrie Leonard. I'll pull up her channel as well. She hasn't had a YouTube channel for very long, but she is amazing. I'm gonna stick this in my um, Twitch chat as well. Great advice from a professional illustrator. And she's got a very nice kind of storybook aesthetic to her work. She has a great Instagram account as well, which I'm sure you can find the links to in her YouTube. Right now she's I don't know if she started a Kickstarter for it yet, but she's working on a book about a little mouse character that she's been drawing for a while. His name is Montague Mouse, and it's so cute. I can't wait. I don't think the Kickstarter has dropped because I definitely would have backed it. I think she probably wants to have all the story done when she launches the campaign. One of the things she said in one of her videos was that you just have to create a volume of work if you're frustrated with your skill level, which I have been for sure. You just have to create as much work as you can and not necessarily worry about the every piece being a masterpiece kind of thing, because it's only by making a lot of work that you get better. I try to keep myself to 2 weeks is about the time limit I have for myself on paintings right now. I have gone over that a few times, but I've been pretty good about getting them done. This one's particularly ambitious. I mean, there's 4 characters in this piece. I don't know what I was thinking. Of course, this little skeleton guy is halfway done. I'm not going to develop him that much because he's there, but he's not the focal point at all. The other thing I've been trying to do more lately is to work in my sketchbook every day. I'm still getting down to doing that. Sometimes I'll do a warm up on Photoshop, but I'm trying to keep my traditional skills sharp. Thank you. I called this piece Great Cleave, which is actually a feat you can take in Pathfinder that allows your character to hit more than one enemy at once. And this character, his name's Mitherin, has used it many times to get us out of situations. He'll be surrounded and he'll just be like, okay, I'm going to use Great Cleave. And he'll hit 3 things and kill them all in one swing. So he's winding up for that big swing right now. These skeletons don't stand a chance. Thank you for the nice words, though. Every piece represents a little bit of progress to me, so I'm pretty happy with what I've been able to achieve the last few months. It's just skill-based. It's feat, which is different from taking a skill or a spell in Pathfinder. You get feats. Oh God, is it every 3 levels? I can't even remember how often you get them. Uh, but you can use it any amount of times you want in a day. It's just completely physical. Although I'm probably going to put some energy onto his sword to make it look more epic for dramatic effect in the painting, of course. I'm just thinking some green lightning coming off of that blade, like Soul Calibur style. I don't know if you've ever played Soul Calibur when they do their charged attacks, all the lightning coming off from it. Grab some green, do a little bit of rim lighting here. It's a little too dark actually. And the background, I've got this cultist, and he's supposed to be the one summoning these creatures. There's almost, in our campaign, we fight a lot of undead. And there's almost always a necromancer of some kind summoning them. So I hope that doesn't look like a woman. That would be an ugly woman. I guess it could be a hag. I definitely need to do some work on that though. I threw that together really quick yesterday. I was like, okay, that's good enough for now. This piece is actually getting pretty close to being done. I think I can finish it today if I focus. What I try to do when I finish a piece is I call it done, but I leave it for a day and come back to it the next day to see if there's any little things that I missed. Do the quick little edits and then I'll post it online. I want to look at what you're doing now. Oh, you're adding color. I don't like it. There's something about pixel art that just makes it look like your characters have more character, I guess. Maybe something about the limitations just kind of makes their personality come out, I guess. You know what I need to do? I always forget to put my glasses on. Yeah. I'm trying to think what the last... I've actually been playing through Final Fantasy VI. I never played it, and my boyfriend has. Gotta check my OBS to make sure I don't look like a complete dork with my glasses on. I hate wearing my glasses, but I get headaches if I don't. Um, Anyways, I've been playing through Final Fantasy VI, and it's been really fun. Um, I love the art style. The characters are really developed. It's got a lot of depth for the time it was made. Yep, I'm not very far into it, but I do have Locke. He's one of the first characters you get. I've got Locke. I don't remember what the girl's name is. The sorceress. Oh, what's her name? That's gonna bother me. Okay, cool. I'm having fun with it, for sure. It's one of my boyfriend's favorite games of all time, so he was like, okay, you have to play this. I always got Nintendo systems growing up, so I missed a lot of the like Final Fantasy games. I haven't played 7 either. The only Final Fantasy I've actually played through is Tactics Advance. And I played through Crystal Chronicles for the Wii, which is a weird game. So after I finish 6, I'll play through 7, Final Fantasy 7. I played some Final Fantasy 14 as well, but that's very different because it's the online one. I love the art style. It's very unique, I guess. I have not played Chrono Trigger, and I have a friend, and that is her favorite game ever, and every time she brings it up all the time. I'm like, I still haven't played it. My favorite RPG is definitely Fire Emblem. I love the Zelda games. I'm actually wearing a Zelda shirt right now. Um, I loved Tales of Symphonia. That came out for GameCube. I've actually been thinking of doing some Tales of Symphonia fan art. That came out for GameCube when I was in high school, and it was a big game. I had never played a game like a 90-hour game at that point, and I actually got through it. I didn't get all the bonus stuff, but I played through the story. That was what was important to me. But Tales of Symphonia, all the Tales games have really beautiful anime cutscenes. I definitely was drawing in the style of the Tales series for a while back in high school. Okay, I think I'm done with him for now. Maybe do a little bit more on the skull here. You know what I'm gonna do? Let's see if making him a little darker would be good. I tend to paint light. Yeah, I like that better. It's so good. I don't know if you can get it on like a download. All right, I'm gonna have to grab it. I think we have Chrono Trigger. I do love RPGs. They're my favorite genre of game. I enjoy League of Legends a lot too. That's one of my current favorites. I'm not very good though. Talk about an amazing art team. Riot has got some great artists. I've also recently picked up Fortnite, and it is really fun. It's like a post-apocalyptic zombie survival game. It mixes like tower defense, kind of like if you've ever played Dungeon Defenders, with building, like in Minecraft. But you control a hero in every level too, so you've got regular combat and stuff. It's really fun. It's a fun co-op game to play with friends. League is really fun. The community, I'm not so much a fan of because where it is a PvP game, people get really like into it and they get really mad when you're not doing well. Other one that everyone's playing right now is Overwatch, but I haven't gotten into that one. I was firmly on the Battleborn bandwagon because Overwatch and Battleborn launched at like the same time and they're very similar style of game. But Battleborn was made by Gearbox, who's the makers of Borderlands, which is one of my favorite game series. I'm a huge nerd. I think Battleborn was a better game, but it's dead now. Overwatch killed it. I'm a little bitter, so I haven't played Overwatch. hmm I loved the characters in Battleborn. My mains were Miko, the mushroom guy, and oh God, what was her name? Arendi, the little black mage that was voiced by the same person that did Tiny Tina in the Borderlands games. Well, Battleborn's free to play now, but if you look at the Steam stats, there's only like 200 people on the game in a day. So it's dead. It's very dead. I don't even have it downloaded on my computer anymore. We just gave up. Paladins is fun. That's a very similar style game. That one's free to play on Steam. I don't they don't have the same kind of budget that Battleborn and Overwatch had, so I think their character design kind of suffered a little bit for it. I find their characters to be a little cookie cutter, one dimensional. I need to go onto this layer because I was stupid and I painted on here. Here we go. All my work is gone. At least it wasn't a lot of work. I hope so too. The pre-sequel wasn't as good as Borderlands 2 was. I think the pre-sequel was meant to be more of a placeholder game though, than a proper reboot or sequel. Talk about disappointing games. Mass Effect Andromeda. We didn't even get it, and Mass Effect is one of my favorite series of all time because it was just that horrible. I haven't. Paladins is very different from Overwatch. The thing I like about Paladins over Overwatch is you have to lock in your character at the beginning. You can't switch in the middle of a battle. So your team has to think more about the team comp before a battle starts. Um, and there's a little bit more character customization. Like you get cards and you have to make a build for your character. Whereas I'm pretty sure Overwatch is just like you pick the character and that's all you've got there. So gameplay wise, I'd say I would probably just for what I look for in a game, I'd prefer Paladins to Overwatch, but it does not have the same level as polish that Overwatch has at all. Paladins also has a little bit more of a MOBA kind of feel. which I really like because I've played a lot of League. So I still don't know the ending to Mass Effect 3. I haven't played through the third one yet. I know the ending was not supposed to be that ending. What happened with that is the actual ending was leaked, and EA basically told them that they had to scrap it and come up with a new one, and it was shortly before the game launch. So the storyline really suffered. The second Mass Effect is really good though. In the second one, you can romance Garrus if you're a female character. Um, so I definitely did that. I really loved the Dragon Age games too. It's the same BioWare, same company. I just love their characters. They have a lot of depth. I think Mass Effect 1 had the best story for me, a better story than 2, but 2 had an amazing ending. Oh God. You only played the first Dragon Age? You got to get on board and play the second one and third one. The second one has a great story. It's a really good story. It feels original, which is hard to do with high fantasy these days. Um, but they recycled a lot of the environments, so you'll find yourself running through the same map over and over. I didn't think it was super distracting. The gameplay felt good, better than the first one. The gameplay in the second one feels less like a MMO, less like a computer game. The third one I'm still playing through, and the third one is everything I ever wanted in a Dragon Age game. It is so beautiful, and it's huge, and the dragons are so much fun to fight. They did a good job in the Dragon Age games of having your decisions carry over from game to game, and that you what like, I mean things that I did in Dragon Age 1 have really affected certain characters in Dragon Age 3. So, when you think about the amount of time between the games, that's kind of cool that they were able to tie that all in. They have a last name for the second game. Your last name is Hawk. In the third game, you play as the Inquisitor. It's Dragon Age Inquisition. So they refer to you as Inquisitor. That's one of those things that they have to get around when they have voice acting. Just like in the first one, they called you. What did they call you in the first one? It was like the hero of Ferelden or the Grey Warden. Um, but in the first game, I hope there's no one in here that hasn't played Dragon Age 1 because I'm going to give like a big like storyline spoiler thing. In the first game, you know how at the end you can make it so that Morrigan and Alistair, um, he gets her pregnant, right? Like the eve before the battle, you can make that choice so that the spirit of the archdemon will go into her unborn child because they needed a Grey Warden's blood to accept the taint of the demon or whatever. If you decide to do that in Dragon Age 1, you meet Morrigan's child in Dragon Age 3, and he's like 10 years old. So it's really cool. That's probably my favorite thing that carried over. And he's a very peculiar child because he's basically a reborn evil demon thing. Yeah, some of them did. Like Liliana is a main character in Dragon Age 3. Um, Varys is in your party. He's in your party for what is that dot on? I always do this. I get this little dot. There we go. Anyways, Varys is in your party in all three of them. Your character from Dragon Age 2 is in Dragon Age 3. And if you import your save files, it actually looks like your character. You don't get to play as your Dragon Age 2 character in Dragon Age 3, but they are in the game. And your decisions affect the dialogue. Your decisions and how you played your character in the second game affects the dialogue for the character in 3. They did an excellent job with that game. I think it was a masterpiece. Even though I haven't quite finished it yet because it's huge. You don't have to. There's a I forget what the Dragon Age server thing is called, but you can go in without actually playing the game, and it brings up like menus for your decisions for pivotal moments in the first game and second game, and you can enter those in instead of having your save file, and they'll use those for your Dragon Age 3. So if you can't get your old save files, you just have to basically remember like what your character did in certain moments. Like my character killed who's the rogue character that you get in Dragon Age 1? The elf. I killed him when he had because the story in the story he like attacks you and you have a choice to spare his life and he joins your party or you can kill him. And my character was very much like if someone comes for me, I'm going to kill you. So, he wasn't in my other games. Rhino! I need my dog in here. He's... What are you freaking out about? Come here. Come here. Say hi to the world. Oh, right. This is Rhino. He's a good boy most of the time. Am I ignoring you? You don't like it. Oh my god, it's 11 o'clock already. I know, I closed the blinds so you can't see outside. So mean. Good boy. Come on. Come over here. You can go ahead. Come over here. Lay down. Calm down. He's such a crotchety old man. He was born a crotchety old man. It's on the tip of my tongue. I can't remember that character's name. It's bothering me. I want to figure out what's going on with the ground down here. It's supposed to be like there's dust that's being kicked up, but I haven't painted it all in. But before I do that, I noticed I hadn't done much with his boots. Excuse me. My eyes feel so much better now that I put on my glasses. I just don't like the way they look. Do you live in the States? I like the green. Ah, the Philippines. Cool. Oh, I'm on the wrong layer. Again. So what time is it in the Philippines right now? It's 11 a.m. where I am. Hello. Are you in the stream with me right now, or are you just joining the voice channel? Oh, okay. Hmm? Oh, I was asking you if you were in the chat with me. I'm paired with an artist, and I come in the voice channel to talk to whoever I'm paired with on Watch Me Work. Sure. This is. Oh, that's all right. I'm gonna stick the digital. I just stuck it in viewer chat on the Watch Me Work server. So that's the stream that I've got going on right now. I'm in here with Kenebats from the Philippines. They were doing some pixel. No, I'm not. The I'm paired with someone. You know how they have the pairing system and Watch Me Work? We've been talking for a while. They're working on pixel art, but I'm doing this piece right here. Just a big, yeah. Thank you. What have you got going on? What have you got going on? Are you working on a piece right now, or? Oh, okay. So you start a piece traditionally and then export and then take like a picture of it or scan it into Photoshop? Oh, don't worry about it. You said you work traditionally and digitally. I was just wondering if that means you do like your initial drawing in like traditional media and then you enhance it with like Photoshop or something. Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, send me the links to whatever you're working on. I'd love to see. I'll pull it up on my stream. I'm streaming on Watch Me Work and Twitch right now. I'll give you my Twitch. I can't see. Um, where did you link that? Oh, okay, you sent it just directly to me. Oh, cool. That's so neat. I love that. Cute little character. You've got a really interesting style. Can you hear both sides of this conversation, Kennebats, or is that um, only in my mic? Oh, I was talking to the person I'm the other person in my Watch Me Work. Uh, they're not connected. They're not connected on the voice. So I'm just talking to them in this chat window right here. But I was wondering if they could hear both sides of our conversation or if it's just me. I'm not sure how that works. They'll get back to me. Thank you. This is supposed to. Okay, cool. Okay. They say they can't hear the other person. They can't hear you. So I'm gonna have to. I thought that they could. So I'll have to change that in my OBS settings later. But yeah, this is just personal work that I'm working on right now. I've got a couple other paintings open too. This is one of my more recent ones on my druid with her fox companion. And then I've got this one is my other. This was my last painting. She's a yeah, she's a demon possessed. Hands. You've got to it's a struggle. Yeah. That's a struggle for me too. Um yeah, they're difficult for sure. I've had to do like I still kind of avoid them sometimes, but I've been making myself do pages of hands in my sketchbook just to get over that, you know. What does this do? Ooh. Yep, I use Photoshop. Um, there's some good free options. Kenabats was telling me that about a program called Krita that's supposed to be pretty good. Oh, okay. Yeah, I've heard about that one too. I've just been sticking to Photoshop because I feel like it's the industry standard, you know? So, and I really only have the energy to learn one program right now. So, wow. Good. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it seems like, those kinds of programs are made for digital artists, whereas Photoshop is made for like everything. You know? Yep. Yeah, it's expensive. Cool, you're from Germany. I always get in conversations with so many people around the world doing this. It's fun. I'm in the US, just outside, you can probably tell by my accent. Um, I'm just outside of Chicago. It is. It gets a bad reputation because it gets kind of a bad reputation because the crime rate is pretty high in Chicago. People think that it's scarier than it is, but really it's not bad. It's safe. Hmm. I've never been to Europe. The only country I've ever traveled to outside the US is Canada. So, yeah, yeah. Hmm. Ah, I'd love to go to Italy. Denmark, yeah. I I would love if I was going to go to Europe, I would probably go to Italy, because I was an art history major, and I just want to go to Florence. Oh, Japan would be fun too. Oh gosh, I'd love to go to Tokyo. It would be amazing. Hiroshima, I know Hiroshima. Hmm. Oh, don't worry about it. What time is it in Germany? Oh, okay. I'm going to link you the Twitch channel for the other streamer that I'm in here with so that you can visit them. They're really great artists. I'm streaming on Twitch and Watch Me Work. So here you go. That's Kennebat's channel. They're in the in the Philippines, and apparently it's midnight there. I don't know. I don't think they're streaming on Twitch right now, but their artwork is really great. So hope you don't mind me promoting you, Kennebets. I've been streaming for like 2.5 hours now. I'm gonna take a little break in about half an hour and then probably come back. I really want to finish this painting tonight. I don't know what the best time of day to stream is. I'm relatively new to all of this. Um, it is 11:30 a.m. at the moment. I always stream in the mornings because that's when I have the time, but I don't know if there's more people on Twitch, after people get off work. hmm Okay. Huh. So maybe morning is good. Kenny. Okay, I remember that, Kennebets. Kenny. My real name is Jordan, by the way. I use Volpine Arts for everything, but my Discord name is 2MAL because I hadn't even planned on using Discord for anything art related. I just used it for video games. Uh, so I should probably make an Discord just for my art because I use a different handle for everything art related. So I try to be consistent so people can find me online. Let me see, is there anyone talking in the... Nope. I've noticed that the traffic for me picks up towards the end of my stream, so I feel like early afternoon is a good time to stream where I am, but we'll see. I'll be streaming a lot today. Oh yeah, you found my Instagram account? Thank you. I'm gonna stick my social back in my I've heard of this. I think I had someone from Germany in a stream with me a while ago. It's like Dungeons and Dragons and yeah. Yep. Yep. I hadn't heard of it until this week. Um, what's it called again? The black. The black eye. Yeah, yeah. Someone asked me that and I was like I was in my I always have my video up when I'm streaming. I was like, "Do I have a black eye? Like did my makeup run?" They were like, "No, it's a game." Yeah, I play a lot in America. We've got it's called Dungeons and Dragons, um, and There's another game called Pathfinder that is basically the same thing, and this is based off from. You don't? Yeah, you did spell it right, Kenny. Pathfinder is a little bit more. It's based off from Dungeons and Dragons version 3, which was a little bit more less user friendly. It was a little bit more in depth. So that makes it so that you can customize your character more and you can kind of be whatever you want, but it also makes the game a little more complicated. Does she use. Oh, she has a fox? She's a ranger, right? Does she use magic? Is she a druid? Druid is they can shapeshift into beast shapes and they use nature magic. That's the English word. Who else gets familiars? Rangers get familiars, but they're like they use bows and arrows and swords. Oh, it's not that bad. We're communicating just fine. We'll figure it out. hmm I always play elves. Oh, okay. Huh. We don't have a healer in our group either. Our group is, I'll pull up on my stream. This character, my character is a demon possessed elf. So this is her. She's failed her will save. The demon has taken over and she's eating a corpse. She's not an evil character, but when sometimes the demon takes over and she does whatever it wants. So I've got her. She's a blood rager. So she's like a barbarian. She uses two swords to fight with most of the time. So we've got her. We've got this guy was in this painting. He's a ranger, an elven ranger. And he uses a sword. And then who else is on our party? We've got a paladin who's like he's a I don't know if you know the word like paladin, but paladins are like a divine spellcaster. Okay. Oh, there you go. Yeah. So we've got except for this paladin, instead of using holy magic, he can like he can use like necromancy. He can summon undead creatures too. So he's weird. And then mhm. I think someone just wizard. Hey, I got a new follower. Was that you? Cool. Well, thank you. I've only been streaming for a couple weeks, so I don't have a lot of people in my streams most of the time. So it's fun to get people to talk to. Okay. Well, um, drop by my stream anytime. I stream 3 times a week. My schedule's right on my Twitch, so it was nice meeting you. I'll have to follow you back. So, all right, bye. That's fun. It's so fun meeting new people. I want to pull up the Watch Me Work again. It's such an interesting, that's the second time this week someone's talked to me about this German version of Dungeons and Dragons called the Black Eye. Interesting name. The more you know. I don't know how I'm feeling about this background. Like from basically Mithrin's, the elf character's name, from his knees down, like the ground just isn't painted in. And I'm trying to decide I want to how much time I want to spend on it, if I want to keep it blurry. All right, it was really nice meeting you. Hopefully we'll end up paired together again. Have a great day, Kenny. Good luck with your pixel art. All right, I'm going to end the pairing now. Yeah, totally. Did you followed my Twitch, right? I think I have yours open. I'll follow you right now. So I'll see if you're on there. All right, well, see ya. I'm going to end the pairing now. Oh, that happened fast. Oh. Got back in with. Oh, wow, you did so much work. But I'll let you get going. All right, I'm just going to keep my stream going and not have anyone on here with me for a minute. This was a fun day. I have to figure out how you guys are going to be able to hear my Discord conversations, because I think that adds a lot to the stream. So I'll tackle that later. I am going to end my stream in about half an hour, so let me see what's going on there. My mom's talking about taking a road trip to come see me. I'm from Maine, so it's about an 18-hour drive to get to Chicago from there. I hated the drive. Oh my God. When I moved here, my boyfriend, we had met online, and we decided to move in together. He drove up here, and Well, not up here, up to Maine. Forget that I'm not in Maine anymore. Um, but he drove up, and then what is this one supposed to be? We drove back down together. Well, he didn't drive up. Oh my God, I can't even use my words right now. I've been on the stream for too long. He flew to Maine, and then we drove back to Chicago in my car. I'm going to use this one. It's supposed to feel like oil pastels. I used to draw with oil pastels a lot, so here we go. Trying a new brush, different texture. It kind of does blend like oil pastel. Oh, I need this on this layer actually. It's an interesting brush because it's fatter on one side than the other. Some of these brushes I feel like don't work quite the right way for me because my tablet is a Wacom Bamboo and those don't support pen tilt. So a lot of times I'll, at least mine doesn't, it's an older one. So a lot of times I'll download these cool, really awesome brush packs, but some of the brushes don't work quite well enough. An upgrade is definitely high on my to-do list for my tablet. I'd like to get an Intuos Pro medium. They're about $350 in US money. Dollars. I'm going to jump over to my channel. It says I have someone watching. Sometimes that's just me though. Anyways, whoever is in the stream, if there is someone, welcome. Thanks for coming to hang out. Totally get it if you don't want to talk. I like to lurk in streams sometimes too. I have been chipping away at this painting for a week and a half now. And it's getting to be time where it just needs to be done. But I've done a lot today. I'm kind of stepping back. I'm going to have to take some time to look at it. Just sit and look at it once I end the stream. But it's really starting to come together. It's that part in the painting where it's like, okay, I can see how this is going to work. I'm starting to feel like the colors are kind of cemented in and everything is just finishing at this point. I kind of want to do something with a skeleton character. Maybe change his color or something because I feel like there's too much like contour lines maybe. I need to make it look more modeled, more three-dimensional. But I also don't want you to see him before you see Mithrin. That's what I've got going on that works pretty well right now, is you immediately look at the elf character, which is exactly what I want. So it's kind of an interesting balance to try and achieve. Hey, I'm getting a message. Oh, sorry, Kenny. I actually ended the pair because you said you were going to be leaving. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get disconnected so soon. But I did follow you on Twitch, and you should get a voice for this and join the Discord channel. That way we can actually talk. I had a ton of fun with you today. This was a really great stream. It flew by. I can't believe it's been almost 3 hours. So, thank you. I still need to paint his sword. And oh, I got a subscriber. That must have been Kenny. Yeah, you too. Bye. Okay, cool. What was I doing? Okay. Kind of looking at this, like, what do I want to get done before I take a break and eat lunch? Yesterday, I didn't wear my glasses during my stream, and I had a terrible headache when it was over. Just a moment. Ugh, I thought I was gonna sneeze. I have such bad allergies. Okay, cool. I'm kind of happy with it's not a lot of detail on the ground, but I feel like it's adding. I'm gonna go in on him because I think you actually would see the edge of his foot. So I have to paint that in. I don't. Oh gosh. Okay, it's right on that layer. I've got this little shadow that I hadn't noticed here. Okay. Now back onto his layer. You know what I haven't done at all is any kind of drop shadow. I think I'll kind of try and kind of estimate where that would go now. Would go to the back because the light's supposed to be kind of coming from the side here. So it would go over this way and then back. Oops. But we don't paint over his boot. Cool. There's a really great streamer that I follow on Twitch named Madeline Inc. Well, it's not her name, that's her Twitch name. But she's really good at doing lighting. I've been kind of picking up a few things from her. She's really, really nice too. She's given me some feedback on some pieces a few times. Actually, since I'm talking about it in my stream, I might as well pull up her channel and link it. She's hosting someone right now. Oh, cool, someone's hosting me. That's Madeline Ink's channel. She's wonderful. Thanks for hosting me. Hey, look, I got a follower. Thank you. Thank you so much. Um, Sorry, I don't. Okay. Well, that's the first time anyone's ever hosted me. There, I'm back on my painting now. I'm going to be working on it. It's too bad that I'm going to be done streaming soon. Maybe I should stay on a little longer. Oh, no, I shouldn't have done that. Painted on the wrong layer. I always do that. But I've been streaming since 9 o'clock, so I really do need to stop and eat lunch soon, unfortunately. Thank you so much, Silbamond. I'll have to check out your channel. Oh God, what did I do? Okay, that looks normal. Okay. I'm moving my layers here. I was gonna do something. I'm just gonna go on to the skeleton right now, because I was just saying earlier, I feel like he needs a little bit of love here. He needs a little bit more, needs to feel more modeled. I feel like I'm relying a lot of contour lines to make this character work right now. And I don't generally like to do that. I like my work to feel more like painterly, not linear. So, just gonna soften some of these dark lines I've got going on here. And also add some more shading onto like the ribs and stuff. I will be back streaming later. I've got more time than usual to paint today. So I'm going to take a break. I'll make a little posting on my Twitch to say when I'm going to be back. But it will probably be around, oh, I don't know, maybe around 3 o'clock Central Time. That's where I am. We'll see. But I'll make a little post on my channel about it. Do an unscheduled stream. Because I'd really like to push this image to a point where it's done. So things I still need to do is I want to do a little bit more work on this skeleton character right here. And there I go, making random lines. I'm going to do a little bit more work on this skeleton in the foreground. The cultist back here needs some work. There's just some anatomy issues back there, and I want him to feel a little bit more fleshed out. And then I need to paint in my character's sword here, which should be really fun. And then after that, I'm going to go in and do some lighting effects. And that's the part of the painting that's fun because it's like you can really make it pop quickly with some little Photoshop tricks. So it's looking good. I'm really happy with the progress I've made today. Anyways, I just linked Madeline Ink's channel down there. She's lovely. She's really nice. Actually, I think she'll probably be streaming today. I think she usually starts around noon. So you could probably hop over to her channel and watch her if you're in my stream. She's very entertaining. She's got a lot of followers too, so her chat's usually pretty active, which I definitely like on Twitch. Really shouldn't be painting this on this layer, but I just realized it and I'm just gonna go with it. I might grab an overlay layer too, and go over certain areas of the painting just to darken them a little bit. We'll see. I have my focal point pretty well established, but there's always, I feel like I could push it a little bit further with color temperature and shading. I like this brush I'm using, my little oil pastel brush. Earlier I linked the brushes I use into chat. I got them from Aaron Griffin Art on DeviantArt. They're a free download. And they've got some really great texture. They feel a lot like traditional mediums. And there's also some great little stamp brushes. Like there's one in here that's leaves right here. I used that in this painting to just quickly get in some of the texture of the leaves in this tree, and it worked really well. I wouldn't use it for anything I was wanting to be more developed in my painting. Like a lot of the leaves in here I painted by hand, but just to get the basic lay down, it was really nice. I'm gonna save. Jump onto my elf character. I feel like his cape could be shaded a bit better as well. So I'm just gonna grab, I don't like that. Trying colors out here. Kind of have this reddish orangey tone. So maybe if I just something that's maybe a bit more saturated. Oh, I like this. That works. Just in certain areas here. Been trying to use cool tones for the background and warm tones for the foreground. And also thinking about the saturation of my colors too, using colors that are not too popping for my background, and use like this green really made that character pop. Little things to think about when you're painting, you know. This piece is, if there's anyone new in here right now, this piece is inspired by my Pathfinder campaign, which is like Dungeons and Dragons. We've had this going for a few years now, and I decided to do a series of paintings based on our adventures. It's a lot of fun. I specifically chose the Pathfinder universe because it would, like, a game company like this would be an ideal client for me. So where I'm not getting a lot of client work right now because I'm pretty new to the illustration game, I guess, I decided to hire myself and make stuff that um, potential clients that I would love to work with in the future might look at and like for when I'm reaching out to art directors and stuff like that. I feel like I'm getting there skill-wise, but I certainly have a long way to go. It's always more improvement, right? All right. Well, I think that's about as far as I can take this in this session. And I usually end my streams at noon. So, um, if you like this piece and you would like to see more of my work, I am linking my social accounts into the chat. I also have them down below on my Twitch. You know what I'm going to do as well? So I'm just going to copy. I'm also streaming on Watch Me Work right now. So I'm pasting that. Those are my social links. So you can follow me there. I do have a nice little button link on Watch Me Work to my Instagram here, which I post there quite often. Um, so yeah, you can always follow me there. Follow me on Twitch to see when I'm streaming. And yeah, I'll be back later. I'm going to make a little post about it, like I said. So have a great day, guys. Bye.